Here it is, the last big roadmap of Operation Meditbag, Payday 3's best and maybe last hope of turning things around, or so it was meant to be. This is the content we'll be seeing in-game across the next 2 months, mostly centered around the final major DLC offerings in September and a predominantly quality of life patch following it up in October. It's an incredibly impressive spread, if you glance backwards at the past 3 months, as it's fairly clear this roadmap has spent so long in the oven, half of its juiciest announcements are already burnt to a crisp. But, having already suffered through Payday 3's nuclear winter, surely we can handle the world's most abridged roadmap. Or road junction, as it can be more accurately described, stopping short as soon as it hits October. I don't really feel like I need to review the previous 3 months of content, as I've done so quite thoroughly since it was released. Boys in Blue shifted the momentum and was a genuinely fun, if uninspired heist, whilst the solo mode, despite being constantly broken in terms of rewards, is a great addition for getting into heists on your own without having to wait for a server just for you. July was a bit rubbish, although the Spotify soundtrack release was a nice surprise, and we've just received the August update Houston Breakout as of this week. The heists are great, although the game's riddled with bugs at the moment, and I'm slightly perturbed by how limited the core Operation Meditbag content was we've received with it. Recap out the way, having reversed through the bulk of the map, let's move on to what's confirmed for next month. First up, the obvious Fear and Greed. The final Big Apple Year 1 DLC is dropping at some point in September. This one is almost certainly going to revolve around some sort of stock market hit set in Wall Street. We even have our own wolf to go up against theirs. Outside of a new heist, as is the formula, expect weapon and tailor packs to round off the Gold Edition content pool. So far those weapon packs have been top notch, so I remain expectant. What is fun is that we actually get a sneak peek at Fear and Greed and its New York Stock Exchange setting, courtesy of this Starbreeze interview with their best mates over at IGN. We get a look inside what looks to be an incredibly expansive heist that seems to range from the rooftops to deep within the belly of the financial beast. It's certainly one of the more ambitious heists we've seen previewed so far in terms of scale, and I look forward to seeing more about how it'll play. What we're really interested in for this video though are the free additions we can expect in the near future. For September, that isn't a whole lot. In fact, it's more of the same, outside of a new overkill weapon and a new heister. New free masks and Twitch drops just seem to be a regular occurrence, which I'm not complaining about, but we sort of know what to expect with those. The overkill weapon though is a complete mystery, or so it was. I'd actually already scripted for you to drop your guesses in the comments as to what it might be, but no need, as Ludwig has confirmed in that same IGN interview that it is in fact a minigun, which has been much requested and will be interesting to balance to say the very least. As for the heister, we already know that's gonna be Houston. This was further confirmed today, and we get to see him without that bloody mask on. That's just Derek Ray with more hair. Fantastic stuff from the modelling team. I'm sure his injuries will have healed in a few weeks, and he'll be raring to join the gang out and about. I still hate the broken hands excuse, so the sooner we get him into the game, the less I'll have to think about the ridiculousness of it all. The September update seems solid and pretty much in line with what we've come to expect from DLC releases since June, but I'm honestly much more excited for what October's gonna bring, as it's the bulk of what we've all been asking for since last September. A UI revamp so I can stop staring at those Call of Duty menus, a server browser to actually find specific online lobbies you want to join, VoIP so our console brethren can finally communicate with ease and shout pejoratives at me, and you guessed it, more Twitch drops. Okay, so VoIP is obviously a highly requested communication tool that isn't necessary on PC, but will be massive for console players cooperating online. I'm hoping cross-platform communication gets generally easier after this key feature is added. I am shocked, however, that the kick feature still hasn't been addressed. It's a very real and serious public lobby issue that just seems to have fallen off the map completely. As for the UI, I'm really excited. Payday 3's menus have grown very stale, not helped by their complete lack of functionality and generic base appearance, but also how long we spent staring at them given all the game's server issues at launch. If a player returns to the game and sees something entirely different and more practical, they will be much more likely to see what else is new with the game. And finally, the server browser, which for all intents and purposes should resemble CrimeNet, is going to be a game changer for just about everyone. This is the most important addition of all, and if I could, this is the one change I would have looked to implement right back at the start of the Operation Meditbag project. October shouldn't be too late, but I think it's important not to argue that the sooner this gets here, the better. Also in October is the mysterious Year 1 addition. 10 years ago, this would have been called the Game of the Year edition because some obscure Lithuanian review site gave it a 10 out of 10. I'm not sure that kind of marketing sits right with people these days, so instead it's just going to be called Year 1, and will assumedly offer the base game with all of Year 1's additions at a reasonable price. Quietly, whilst it won't impact most of you watching this video, this might be the most important release mentioned in the roadmap from a Starbreeze and Plaion perspective, because it's an opportunity to remarket the game and attempt to recapture that 70-odd thousand player base they had so briefly before the servers exploded on day one. It's also going to be an excellent forecasting tool to work out how viable developing this game further will be moving forward. Now for a bit of analysis. They wouldn't release a Year 1 edition if they didn't at least intend to follow it up with a Year 2, or so I believe, meaning that gives me some degree of confidence there's more to come. Although if I was on the fence about purchasing a special edition of a live service, I'd probably like to have some idea what's coming during that second year. Just a thought for you marketers out there. It's really far-fetched to me to announce that this edition is coming, and then not elaborate on what those new buyers might be able to look forward to. Anyway, that's it for the core releases in October. Maybe, just maybe, we'll get a Halloween event for old time's sake, but no confirmation of anything like that here because this roadmap really is very lean, including only the bare essentials that Starbreeze can commit to completely. To be clear, partners saw an earlier version of this, hence why some were publicly excited as all the bloody content hadn't already been released back then. I didn't stick my neck out like that, but I also don't understand why this has been held back for as long as it has, because that decision has ultimately diminished its impact. But I suppose this is just a case of being held accountable and keeping your promises, even if those promises lead to a tinge of disappointment in the end. I have confidence there will be more to come after this update. Everything we've been told about a Year 2 being worked on, and another 6 months of confirmed Plaion support suggests that is the case. And whilst I can't fathom them being so unwilling to share even indistinct snippets of what that might look like, I'm willing to hold the line so long as September and October's update keep moving the game in a positive direction. However, I am not ignoring how inane a lot of this roadmap was. Hell, most of this was public domain knowledge as of the investor presentation a couple of days ago. In fact, they even mentioned CrimeNet alongside a server browser, which confuses me even further. It's hard to get excited about Payday 3's long-term future when the guys bringing the game to us are unwilling to get excited themselves and really show their hand. Information has felt heavily restricted since the fiasco at launch in my opinion, so this is just more of the same. I'm not sure this roadmap needed to be shared. I don't think it's going to do the discussion around the game any favours, but hey, at least it's something for us diehards to latch onto. Right now, I'm just enjoying Houston Breakout for what it is, despite seemingly discovering a new bug every single run, and have to admit, I've logged on and completed my dailies every day since the update went live. The winds of change are rolling in, I just hope it's not too gentle a breeze too late in the day. Thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you all very soon. A huge thank you to my dedicated Patreon backers. If you want to join this crew in going infamous, check out the link below and pledge as little as $2 to see your name in the credits, or get 24-hour early access to future videos and vote on upcoming content. Take care, I'll see you all soon.